Take that with you. Take it however you want. We can't stand by one another if you're not standing up, sir. You don't got no needs. Anyway, so my whole feeling when it comes to him is that type of thing. It's like I always had a funny energy about him. And I have seen his posts for a while. You know, I've known who Derek Jackson is. I want to say maybe at least a year. But there's always just been this energy that's been off to me whenever he's posting things. So when all this stuff hit the fan, I was like, kind of not surprised.
Right.
You know, I was not very, very shocked. But it is also just kind of like...
It comes off as one of those things, not to cut you off, I'm sorry. It's like one of those things where it's like, give me advice on something or tell me you like something without telling me that something else is the reason why. You know
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
or just spewing negative energy on other people so that you can have a following. That is rude. That's trash behavior.
And people just be looking at their arms. That's why I'm gonna get me some arms and stuff. People be looking at their arms. They say, "Yeah, he's right. He's right." Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you want to get some arms so people can agree with you, even if you're not right?
Arms and abs.
Why did you get so close to the microphone when you said that?
I just wanted it to be heard. I want it to be received. That I'm not. Let me tell you something.
Arms and abs.
I ain't getting
the two
fit.
A's.
I ain't getting fit for. There's a third A too, but we're not gonna talk about that.
I will, because that A is important to me.
But no, I'm not. I don't know. Look, I'm just not. Honestly, online couples are weird to me.
All of them?
Most of them.
Okay.
The way I'm set up, if I'm with, this is just me personally, if I'm with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gotta
Agreed.
have it out there. You know what I'm saying?
Touché.
I like to have my stuff be there and then my public, whatever I'm doing, my work be something else. I keep it separate. I'm not posting somebody I'm with. I'm not doing all that stuff. It's just not. And unfortunately, there's a younger generation that's something that they expect. It's like, oh, you're not going to post me? Or, oh.
Right.
And I'm
right.
like,
that's a thing.
What we do ain't got shit to do with what you know what I mean? That's like, I won't even follow a person that I'm, dealing with.
Really?
You know what I mean? It just won't. It's not important to me. Because also I think I'm a believer in you deserve to have your separate spaces, and social media can get clunky.
Yeah, it can.
And if you are keeping up with each other, let's say you live together, you sleep together, you work together, whatever it is, you're together all the time, and you follow each other on social media, keep up with each other that way. That's too fucking much. That's too much.
Wait a minute. Okay, here's my question for you. Not too fucking much. What is the balance between? Okay, because there's a saying, right, that privacy and secrecy is two different things, right? Mm-hmm. So where do we draw the line at? You're being secretive, and that's not okay.
Right.
Let me say, I believe in privacy. 100%. I agree with that. Everybody else should not know my and my partner's personal business.
Right.
They should not know the inner workings of our relationship. And I totally agree with that. But they shouldn't be questioning whether or not we're in a relationship. That's my thing. Like, absolutely, let's be private, but don't be secretive about me, because that it makes me feel like there's something else going on, and there's a reason why nobody can know that we are doing what. I don't even need a title, because that's another thing. Titles are for other people. If you think about it,
it is.
But titles make you feel comfortable because you feel like everybody else knows what's going on. But if you and your person know what you're doing, then a title is not really necessary. If it's real, I'm not a title person either, per se, but I do need it to be known that we are in a relationship.
Yeah.
And that's fine for me. We don't have to post what we're doing or all that's, I'm fine with that. But if it gets to a situation where I'm noticing that any conversations that you may be having, you are going out of your way to avoid the fact that we are in a relationship, or, secrecy and privacy is two very different things.
Yeah.
And where do we draw the line?
It is a fine line there. I think the distinction would be when something, when the moment comes up. So when you are being introduced to someone, for example, right? That's an opportunity for you to acknowledge without having to say too much. You don't have to go into detail, but you could say, this is who this is to me, right? Nice to meet you, whatever. There's those moments, or in the moments of, I think that's really, really what it comes to, is just mainly acknowledgments. It's when the opportunity presents itself. Some people, when certain things come up, certain moments in time, you want them to go out of their way to do stuff, and and there's those, but it's like, it's Tuesday, I'm at work, you brought me some lunch. I'm going to tell everybody at work,
right?
Because I don't fuck with them.
That's real.
You know what I mean? It's like, I'm here for my check.
Agree.
So I don't need Lisa asking,
right?
Yeah, I'm not even gonna introduce you to Lisa. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, you brought me lunch, I'll meet you in the lobby, because we're not here for that. You know what I mean? So I try to keep those spaces separate. And that is where the gray area comes.
So is Lisa not gonna know that you're in a relationship?
No, Lisa is. Lisa's gonna know. So when Lisa's like, hey, would you like to go out and have drinks? You say, oh no, my woman ain't gonna have that. But you ain't gotta be like,
I'm tired of you. I just can't.
My woman ain't gonna have that. But you ain't gotta be like, oh no, I've been in a relationship for 10 years and we have this many kids and this is what I ain't doing all that, because I'm checking you right then and letting you know.
Nope. It's a no. Yeah.
So that's, I think it's up to the bond of the couple, or sometimes in 2021 the throuple, to say,
listen here, it's a thing. Whatever people want to do.
It's up to those individuals to check shit when it comes up.
Yeah.
Because if you're not doing that, then that's the problem. That's when the issues come up. That's when the gray area and that line kind of gets crossed. So that's the distinction, I think. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. So you wouldn't post anything at all, ever, of your relationship? Like, not one thing ever, just once every blue moon either?
It would legit be like, random, oh, we had a baby there, and people like, with who?
No, listen, that's my thing. Like, when I get married, watch this. When I get married, everybody that's coming to my wedding is going to be finding out for the first time about this person. That's my running joke. And not to be, it's a joke. Obviously, the people closest to me are going to know who my guy is. But I feel like we should treat relationships the same way those of us that are loving parents treat our babies. Like, we wouldn't just let anybody watch our kids. We wouldn't just there's a sacred bond. If that's what the type of relationship that you want, if you want a sacred bond with someone, then it needs to remain sacred. And then whenever you begin to give too many people's energy access to your thing, shit can get a little muddy. So I totally agree with you about the whole being overly posty and all of that. Now, I'm going to be honest. I'm probably going to post some things here and there about me and my guy, but that won't be the makeup of my page.
Right. And I remember I watched a stage play. I want to say it was by David E. Talbot, it was years ago. But one thing that I think about all the time, there was a quote that one of the characters said, and she was like, they were talking about their men. It was like set in like a salon or something, but they're talking about their men, and she was like, she's like, you better be careful talking about your man to these women because they were talking about their sex life. And she's like, you better be careful talking about your man to these women and telling them how good he is in bed because they might want to find out. She said, she was like, the way a lot of these women are set today, you better not tell them how bad he is either because they might want to try to make him good.
Listen, you just can't win. Okay. I hate you. This laugh that you're giving me right now. No,
And
that's real.
Like, you know,
long
like,
story short, don't tell people what you're doing.
Yeah. Some people will be like, oh, well, that means you don't know what to do with it. I'll show you.
Listen,
I got it.
That's what I'm saying. That giving people with different energies access to your shit. So long story short, don't tell people about what you're doing in the bedroom with your dude or your woman.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, so that's that. That's that. Moving forward, I think this is going to be a two-parter for sure.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a two-parter for sure because when did we start? I didn't even keep time.
A long ass time ago.
I was too one of the last, well, not one of the last few things, but one of the things I do want to talk to you about since it's in current news, and we both are artists as well, and we're coming from that, you know, we're in the creative world, both behind the scenes and and also consumers of such things. There is this frenzy going on online. I'm gonna say my part, and then I'm gonna turn it over to you because you might level it out. But I'm very already decided what the fuck I feel about the situation.
Come on, then. That's all right.
There's this kid. They call him Lil. But speaking of Lil, just Lil. I want to go on a quick tangent real quick. Lil Kim's money. I tell this people all the time. Lil Kim's money was in copywriting that Lil. Because she was the first one. And she was the first. She was the first one that came out.
Okay.
Go back and think about it when we start putting together. And then after all, everybody came out after that was Lil Bow Wow, Lil Romeo, Lil Boosie, Lil Flip, Lil you know, so and so on. Even now, Lil Baby, Lil.
I'm tired.
Am I lying?
It's true.
Lil Scrappy, Lil. But anyways. That was her money right there. If she locked that in,
copyrighted that, yeah.
Never, just not working.
Oh man,
yeah,
she missed out.
I just like to acknowledge, you know, when people be the first to do something, and that's you know her thing.
I didn't even realize that she was the first. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it was a lot after. That's crazy, her money right there. But anyhow, Lil Nas X. Here's what. The only thing I know of is what comes up across my timeline on social media, so to speak. So I personally have not gone out of my way to receive music that I'm not into.
Yeah.
To watch a video that I wouldn't be interested in because it's not, for me, it's not an artist that makes music for me. So I'm just, I check out already. So I don't go out of my way to get you into my algorithms. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. Mm-hmm.
And so you pretty much probably heard the gist is that he put out music. We know that there's already controversy all the time with just being an LGBT artist, right? So there's that. Mm-hmm. That's always going to rub people, you know, wherever way they want to be rubbed.
Oh my gosh, pun intended.
And then that on top of the fact that he had like devils and blatant symbolism and things in the video where he was allegedly giving the Satan character in his video a lap dance. Here's what. Here's where the issues come in. A lot of people.
This is my first time hearing this. Just want to let you know because I don't know about it at all.
Oh well, I'm gonna bring it around to you and see what you think. At this point, this kid is 21. You know how the music business is. He He's still very much impressionable in that state. He's making his own decisions as an adult, yes, but only so far as people who are yesing him, right?
Yeah.
Because he came out with that Old Town Road song, and that was gone into a whole nother stratosphere, right? And that was his first.
Lil Nas.
Yeah, it's the same kid, yeah.
Oh.
So the transition is what really threw people off, is that you did this whole thing and they blew that up. That song was huge, and that was his first time out the gate. So just imagine the psyche of, how you've been around people, so you know how sometimes fame can do some people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody ain't humble like they should be. So imagine.
I hate that, the way you said
imagine humble.
I'm over it.
Everybody ain't equipped to sustain, or you get that huge, and that's all you think about is like, what's next? What are we doing with shock value, right? So the treatment, someone found the treatment for the video, and the idea was that he sang in this video, well, growing up, LGBT, whatever, people always condemn you and they say, well, you're going to hell, or, all this stuff. So I decided to go ahead and do that. Here's the problem I have with that.
Well, you decided to go ahead and do what? Condemn people to hell?
No. He decided in the video, I haven't seen that he's gonna go to hell. So he's in hell and he's dancing and he's giving the devil a lap dance and shit.
Oh.
So he's saying that the idea, or let me put it this way, they are saying that the idea behind the video is to say, well, since you're always condemning me, I'm going to go ahead and it's almost like reclaiming the N-word. Right? This is the angle.
We don't reclaim the devil. We don't reclaim the devil.
This is the angle. This is the angle. So it's almost like reclaiming the N-word and saying, you made it a negative thing. I'm going to take it and now I'm liberating myself from those things by saying, but that shit don't work because, and I said this to a friend of mine, I was like, this doesn't make sense because if you were like, oh, well, you're a black man, so that must mean that you rob and steal.
I hate this accent.
So that's like me doing that, and then I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm a black man. Y'all always said I rob and steal, so I'm gonna put out a whole project of me robbing and stealing because y'all not. That doesn't even make sense.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't make sense to be like, oh well. You say I like Fruity Pebbles. So you're damn right I bought all the Fruity Pebbles to show you I don't like them.
I don't like what you're doing.
How are you going to take claim of a stereotype to let somebody know that you're not that stereotype? That doesn't fucking make sense. Because here's the thing too, and this is eggshells and shit I'm going to have to walk on with putting this out. But what I'm saying is factual. Some people are LGBTQIA plus. I think I got it all. But some people are just gay and they get up and go to work and go home.
Yes. Yep.
They don't bother nobody. They don't bother nobody. They don't, and it's not about the whole idea of coming out. Here's what I feel. I feel like in coming out, I feel like we need to get to the point where it shouldn't even be noteworthy. That shouldn't be news. So and so came out. So
right. This person is having a personal experience that them coming out, whatever liberation that was for them, that's good for them. And why do we all need to know about it? We all have our own things that we fight through every day that we don't make announcements about.
It shouldn't be news. It's not like you ran a 100-yard dash.
I'm over it.
You know what I'm saying? it shouldn't be noteworthy. And I think that's the ultimate goal. But people misconstrue that with, if I can't, they misconstrue that with not having a platform and not having a voice of their own, like not being seen or heard, right? And it's like, okay, no, that's not what it is. But you have to understand that certain shit just ain't. Who cares?
Yeah, and that's the thing is nobody is downplaying it or not.
Yeah,
loving people
it's like
that
you put that out there.
Yeah, I agree. I just agree that we over publicize and we just amp so much stuff up so much that it's like everybody has a different journey and we're all growing from different things. We're all experiencing different things and discovering new things about ourselves. Every person on this earth. And so when we take one particular subject and then make this big ass hoopla about it, for me, that's when I'm like, this is why I stay out of, I don't need to know what's going on in other people's lives. I genuinely do not need to know who came out or who, because ultimately, honestly, at the end of the day, I love you regardless.
Yeah.
I am a person I am liquid love, right? So you telling me that you came out or you having is not going to change the love that I have for you.
And honestly, most people that come out, it'd be like, nigga, duh.
Oh, we already knew. And it's okay. We loved you anyway.
Duh.
It's like me making a hamburger and bringing the hamburger out. No, I can't use hamburger because we have things like Beyond Meat and Impossible Meat now. It's like me bringing out a chicken and saying, you guys, I got a confession to make. I made chicken for dinner. Well, we can see that. So what's the confession?
Really, the conversation should be about how you prepare the chicken, the ingredients, the flavors that you use for your recipe. That's the story.
If somebody asks, because we all don't want to know. Some of us don't care about how you got to where you got. We just love you for who you are. We don't need the details.
Yeah. And that's a huge, like, it's like a lot of shit we've been talking about is just these fine lines. It's another one of those areas where it's like, yes, I'm for people being able to speak out and have their platform and showcase, but that has nothing to do with going to hell.
Okay, can I say something about that now? Here's what I do have to say. As a creative, especially as an artist who was caught up in background singing for several years, way more years than I worked on any of my own stuff. There comes a point in your journey where you begin to explore, what is my creative edge? And so this is not me excusing. This man can share whatever he wants to share, however he wants to share it. I don't fuck with it, but I don't knock him for doing whatever creative journey he's on. That's between him and his following. And so whatever backlash he's receiving, this is why I don't know what's going on in pop culture, because this is too much energy for me to even take in. I don't care about that man's journey. I don't. You know what I mean? And so here's another thing, people, and this is what I want to say. I'm not sure if this is going to be aired as a video or as an audio, but I'm going to pretend it's going to be aired as a video too, because we're looking at each other. Hey guys, mind your fucking business. Okay? If you don't like what you're looking at, change the station. If you don't like his music video, don't look at it.
That's it.
It's really that simple. And so many humans spend so much time honing in on somebody else's shit and then taking the time out to write articles about it and to have now there's people who get paid to do that. That's one thing. But if you're at home watching this man's music video, knowing it doesn't sit well with your soul, and you keep watching it and keep posting about it, I don't feel sorry for you, bitch. Turn the TV off. If you are bothered, don't look at it. It's that simple.
Part.
If you don't agree with
That's
it,
it.
don't indulge.
Yo, I remember I was probably like in middle school or something. And I was at my grandmother's, God rest her soul. A commercial came on. It was like a Geico commercial or some shit. And I was so annoyed with you know how commercials are, especially back in the day, you couldn't skip shit. These, there was a commercial. It was like, I want to say it was a Geico commercial. I know it was an insurance commercial. There was like a donkey or something. It was just the dumb shit. It was annoying to me because they played it all the time. And I remember being on my grandmother's and that commercial, I was like, oh, and I had like a moment. And my grandmother was like, you could just change the channel and go back to it later.
You really could.
And when I tell you, I kind of sat on the couch. I was like, well, yeah.
That's a word, right? Come on and preach, Grandma.
She's like, if it upsets you, you could just like it, you know, and you can apply it to anything. You go to the grocery store or you get mad because there's only 2 lanes open and a few self checkouts. Well, go ahead and just roam around the store a bit longer and come back. I bet the line will be shorter. Why go through that? Why put yourself through what you know is going to cause you some fucking issues? And that's the thing, because if people weren't doing that, this kid would have never felt a need to explain something that should have just been understood anyway. If you were trying to put a message together and it wasn't, it's art anyway, right? Subjective. So if you were trying to put a message together, it wasn't received. I'd rather you come out and be like, yeah, I mean, it may come off a little fucked up, or you may not get it, and say that and take your L. Then it'd be like, well, actually, you say that. Well, you say it all the time. So yeah, you know, that was a silly explanation, but he would have never had to explain that if people weren't like, you know,
here's the thing
minding their own business.
Here's what I'm about to take. I'm going to take you down another rabbit hole. Why the fuck are you explaining yourself to anybody anyway? Do what you want to do and keep it pushing. Now, if you are so bothered and you need to explain things to people and you are so bothered with what somebody might think and you're annoyed because you have to give an explanation, number one, don't do shit that you need to explain. But even better than that, stop worrying about what other people think about what you got going on and put it out there and sip a fucking soda after that. Because when I release my stuff, when I release this music video and I do whatever the hell I damn well please, I'm going to go and have a glass of wine and sip whatever I want, eat whatever I want. And I'm not going to worry about who liked it or not, because I'm not doing it to get a response. I'm doing it because it feeds my soul to express my art and to do what I'm doing.
Exactly.
And it is a great ass thing. If it picks up or if it goes viral and if everybody loves it, that is awesome. And if they don't, that is also awesome, because I'm never going to stop being authentic and I'm never going to stop doing the things that I know are best for me to do, whether you like it or not. Right. If you got a problem with my song and my music video, bitch, don't listen to it. And if you keep listening to it, here's another thing that confuses me.
Why that bitch have a capital B on it like that?
Because listen, that's how I say it. I say bitch hard. You can ask my best friend Philly. She'd be like, oh my God, you say bitch so hard. Here's another thing for me. If I'm doing something, right? Again, we talked about if you don't like it, you don't have to listen to it. You don't have to stay on that station. I think for me, it's difficult for me to understand how so many people can give you in full detail. Some of these people know these songs up and down, know every single part of the music video because you watched it 17 times. Out of the same mouth, you're going to tell me how much you hate it. Then why the fuck do you keep looking at it? Why are you familiar? Why are you more familiar with what you hate than what you want in your life? Yeah. That's the problem.
Yeah. They be like, look, pause right here. See that part? Look, zoom in.
Right. Look, zoom in. You get out. Yeah.
If you like it, just say that.
That's my thing. Right? But yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. Like,
let me ask you, because the other part of this conversation goes into responsibility.
Yeah.
A lot of parents were also up in arms, not because of the LGBT aspect, because honestly, that's the least of the thing that really kind of threw people off. It was that you came out and you had this huge mega hit that appealed to a very specific group, which were the kids that were on TikTok that blew it all up.
Yeah.
Now, it's not like it's how artists like it'll be like, well, I've been doing it for a decade. I'm gonna try to reinvent myself. Your fan base is only 2 years older than they were, so they only 13 now. Where they was, you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So a lot of people were up in arms because they were like, hey, look, you're the Old Town Road kid, and if my kid goes onto YouTube and they're just wanting to revisit that or listen to your music from that time, and they go on, the next thing that's going to play is going to be this other thing that I didn't have to have a conversation with them about. I've heard a lot of people, a lot of artists who, I'm gonna be careful when I say this.
Okay.
a lot
Take your time.
There's artists and then there's people who are playing around and taking up space. Let me put that way.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. And
you are a mess.
And the people who tend to play around and take up space often have this mindset of, I'm not a role model for your kid. I don't have to monitor myself.
I'm just trying to make money.
That's what they say, right? Then there's the other side of the coin where it's like, to whom much is given, much is required. You do have to have something about you that says, I won't do this, or I won't go this far. Or if I do this thing, there will be a purpose behind that. Because, they say, well, the parents should be monitored with the kids. First of all, it's 2021. Kids are going to access what the fuck they access. So you have to, as an influential person, you have to understand that you are given a huge responsibility at that point to uphold something, or to at least make it make sense. So there's not so much confusion going on, at least in my stance, right? Because it's a fine area for an artist. I know what you know where that's coming from.
Because we're gonna have to talk about it.
We are, but I'm thinking it's like this. You can put out your art for what it is. When you are meaning that thing, like you said, when I'm doing it, and it's for me, it's coming from my soul. It's nourishing me. It's something I'm really living. I breathe this shit, right?
Yeah.
Then anything you do behind that, it's gonna translate. It's gonna be like, she said that because she meant that. It may be something completely vulgar. It may be something that rubs people wrong, but it's you being you. It's like, I respect the shit. It's not my thing, but I respect it. Yeah. So when it gets to be inauthentic and those people say, well, it's not my problem.
Right.
Those are the people that say it. And it's like, well, no, you do want to take into consideration if your fan base is international and you're reaching multiple millions of people daily, that's huge. So be careful with what you're just putting out there, because everybody can't monitor their kids, and they know it.
Here's what I just want to stop you for 1 second. It's not my job to raise your kids. Now,
right?
The amount, the ability that you have, or the amount of time or energy that you have to monitor your kids, not my fucking problem. I know that sounds really terrible, but the fact of the matter is that we have got to stop expecting other people to move in a way that benefits us, because we all have our own lives to live. So you can either put the blockages on your kids' devices or whatever to where they can only see certain things, and even if they get around some stuff, then you'll have to have these conversations. It's part of parenthood. Like, you are responsible for your kids, not me. So I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do. I cannot be in everybody's household. Period. That's not my job. So what I do believe in, though, is consistency as an artist, consistency as a person. Know who you are. And when you tap into who you truly are, everything that comes out of you, like you mentioned a little bit earlier, in the same way, in a different way, everything that comes out of you will naturally be consistent with who you are because
Exactly.
you are tapped in, right? But we do have some artists that are really just out here trying to make dollars and appeal to people and get paid. They're not really in it to as a
Yeah.
part of their existence and express soul
That's
expression,
the
right?
danger. That's the dangerous part. That's the part where it's like it's just really murky because then it's reckless. It's just reckless abandon. You just throwing shit out there, and it's like
Yeah. But they have a right to do that, though, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. And I know that that's hard to accept. My whole thing is that if you are not physically harming someone, if you are not going out of your way to bring pain to another person, or you know what I'm saying? If you are not out here murdering people, and let's not even take it as far as murder, you're not being out here violent, or if you're just you have a job and you're just doing what you want to do as far as to make money. And like I said, you are not physically harming anyone, or because you may be spiritually harming people or what have you with what you're doing, but other people's mental stability and spiritual stability and inability or ability to monitor their own children should never be placed on a human being other than yourself. And so
Right.
this is where it gets muddy because the only people that we can police is ourselves. So we cannot get in a space where we start telling people how they need to express their art or how they need to put out. We don't get to make that choice. So what we need to be able to make choices about and to be very concrete in is what's going to happen in our households with our family and with our lives. And so now at this point, it's my responsibility to make sure that I am nourishing my children with and also giving them room to become who they are, because that's another balance. That's a different story. Either way, we cannot expect anybody who's an artist or who's on TV or anybody outside of our household to hold themselves responsible for the proper bringing up of our children. That's not fair.
Right.
It's lazy, and that's your job.
Right. And it happens. It happens a lot. I think the main like focus is that people are going to have to think it over. Whatever it is you go into, just think about it for a second, because then and honestly, if something gives you pause, or like you said, if you got to overly explain something to people, you probably should be doing that shit no fucking way. And if you know that, you know what I mean?
Not that you should. It's not that you shouldn't be doing it. You should examine how you truly feel about it.
Yeah.
But you should never feel like you shouldn't do something because somebody else might not like it. I disagree with that. You do what you want to do.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like if it's something that gives you pause, then that's probably like not,
okay.
You know what I mean?
That's an indication.
So yeah. So it's like listen to that, because that's usually gonna be how you feel about it throughout. So if it's like, I don't really feel like doing this, and then you go and do it, and then on the other side you wonder why you're so upset every time you got to talk about it, because you wasn't feeling it to begin with.
So you shouldn't have done it if it didn't feel good to you.
My friend's mama used to tell him, if you feel like you got to come around to me and lie about it, then you know you should have been out there doing it, right? And it's like that. It's like if you have an air around what it is you're putting out with your art, it's like as subjective as art is. If you have that, if it's not you, don't do it. Just because you're it's gonna be funky the whole time. It's not gonna be. And a lot of people don't get away from that. You know what I mean? They don't get to shape that, because that's one of my big things. Is like I was like, I didn't know I could do multiple things with multiple skills. You probably had this thought before too, but I don't want to do something that I know I can easily do and get seen for, because I don't want to keep that thing up that I don't enjoy.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? There's been some things that have come up that I'm like, I could do that. I could easily do that. But I don't want to
be known.
Yeah, but I could do it well. Let me put it this way. I could do it well.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be like, well, that's T-Ron from OnlyFans.
You are a messy person.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want people just saying that. But
yeah, I'm done with you today.
I have had the best time talking to you because here's what I really adored about getting to know you and spend time around you and everything is that number one, y'all. I don't know if it translates in this conversation, but Tamika wouldn't let me get away with shit.
Not a damn
Tamika
thing.
would not let me get away with shit. TJ probably wouldn't let me get away with stuff, but Tamika won't. Okay. Like anything, you can't have a bad day around this woman because she's gonna be like, think about why that is. You know, and do shit like that. Like let me be, like let me, you know what I mean? Or I remember we were having a conversation one time, and you know we're kind of from the same area, like the Midwest. I'm more from the South, but you know, like there's this whole thing, there's this whole culture around like roasting and like getting on, you know, roasting people.
I feel like I know what you're about to say.
But I remember, I think about this all the time now because I still roast and talk shit, whatever. But only, I've gotten better because I only do it about stuff that people present to me. Let me put it that way. So
That's good.
I don't like find things. But I remember, let's talk several moments. I'm trying to grow up. He would not let me roast random people. People was like, no, I don't do that. And I was like,
why are you doing that now?
Honestly, it's like that. It's a fine line because when you roasting, this is just light shit. It's like, oh, those shoes are big, and that's fucking funny. It's just okay, yeah, they are. But if you go in, that shit can go off. You know, before you know, you play dozens. Yeah. So Tamika would not let me do none of what I like to do. So,
wait,
but I appreciate you for it because
I love you. You the best.
I love you too. But I appreciate you for it because too often we come across people who, and even if you don't think you're going to spend, you know, a lot of time with people, we come across people who don't hold each other accountable in a moment when we as human beings need that reminder. Like I said, some people need to be humble. It's so good to be around someone to be like, oh, well, y'all can't see what I'm doing if you're listening. I just made a side out. But you know, so it's good to be around people that give you like the side out or nudge you in the ribs, like, tone it down. Right. You better go there. You know, because there's a time and place. There's a time and place. I just wanted to share that with you is that I immediately gravitated towards your energy. Oh, wait. And it just came to me too. Good.
Are you about to talk about that time that I was like, because I thought about what you just mentioned made me think about when we were, I don't remember where we were, but we were shopping and we was going to the van store and all this stuff. And there was some girl that was wearing this really special type of outfit. But you spoke up on it and I was like,
yes, I remember.
Now, why you got to go in on that girl like that? She just living her life. That is what I thought about. But I also thought about the whole situation with the food and the band and how nobody was responding about what we were going to eat or whatever. And so you just ordered a bunch of different things for everybody because they needed to know in that moment. And I was like, I appreciate that you stepped in and you handled that. And they gave you, a few of them actually like were giving you guff. And I was like, hold on. Cause can I say that word? I'm not gonna say it. You motherfuckers is foul and you're not gonna sit up here and talk shit and be all upset. You didn't answer your phone. You didn't say what you wanted. And this is not your show. And you're not gonna sit up here and go in on him like that. I'm not gonna let you do it. I'm not here for it. I don't remember how long. I feel like you were only the second week in or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Maybe only a couple of days at that.
I don't know, but I just knew. I know in general, I do not like it. People don't do what they're supposed to do, and then have the bald, bitch ass, bald headed, stinking ass nerve to come at somebody else foul when they weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing. And so I'm going to take all this energy of my irresponsibility and channel it. No, we're not doing that in this space.
Right. So we could just don't let
I
shit
didn't talk to
happen.
some people for a while.
We
It's the
could just
Libra
don't
in
let shit
me.
happen.
You know I'm a Libra. You know it's the Libra in me. That's what it is. I'm not down.
And see, I'm
I don't
the
like
type.
it.
Do you know what I am? Do you know what my zodiac sign is?
No, what is it?
I mean, kind of guess.
I don't even know.
Remember, okay, let me put it this way. Remember, I told you I stayed over in London while we were on tour for the day of my birthday. Remember, it was my birthday, and that was in July.
Are you a Cancer?
Yeah.
You know why that doesn't surprise me? My best friend is a Cancer.
Yeah.
And they say that Libras and Cancers don't get along or shouldn't be getting along. But that's the biggest bald-faced lie.
I am emotionally driven. I will say that. People, you know how people get cancers flat. But I am emotionally driven. I am team, let's get this shit done to a fault. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I that was my whole thing. Even though I came in for a specific job, a specific area, you know,
Yeah.
I was also like, how are we gonna get from point A to point B? What I got to do to get us there? Because I'll pick up some slack wherever it's falling.
Yeah,
because it's just me, right?
Right.
A lot of people don't expect that of others, so a lot of people don't know how to respond to that. You know what I mean?
That's fair. That's fair.
And I had to acknowledge that because I'm just wired a certain way where I'm like, I'm going to look out for everybody.
Yeah.
But I'm also to the point where if you cross it or if you do something, I'm done. It don't take much.
I know.
And I'm the done type that I ain't got to have no closure conversation with you. I ain't got to say, well, this is why. You ain't going to get none of that. You will spend 20 years of your life wondering why I stopped talking to you. And why I cut you off.
I won't pick it back up.
I won't pick it back. I'll be like, well, and I'll sleep good. Let me put it, shit.
I'm over it. Nope. I know that to be true about most cancers.
But I always think about you not letting me get away with shit. I think about it often. I do.
Do you? Oh my God, you got me over here feeling bad now. Oh,
it's a good thing because like I told you earlier in the conversation, I never stopped doing mischievous things. I just got crafty about them. So I still do my shit, but it's not just with
pissing down slides and everything. I'm over it. I can't believe you did that.
What are you looking forward to as we, God willing, as we start to get more people vaccinated, as we start to reopen some things, things start to kind of see how things kind of balance out. We'll see how it goes. But what are you looking forward to for the rest of the year or just in the future in general? You as an artist, you as a Black woman, what are you looking forward to?
So many things in that question. I'm absolutely looking forward to finally releasing my own project. One song at a time, but I'm going to provide visuals for everything. I'm excited about that part of my journey. I've actually have a TV and commercial agent now, so I'm going to be getting into acting in some TV shows, hopefully. And that's on the career side, that's me just doing what I love to do and actually having more access to those things. That's that side of things. As far as being a Black woman, I have to be honest, I'm so excited about the fact that we are being a little bit more celebrated, like watching things like Coming to America 2 and when Black Panther came out, just seeing all of those scenes where we were dressed in royalty and we like seeing ourselves in Africa, like totally engulfed in our culture and being the magical creatures that we are. I'm excited that this is a thing now where that our young children are going to get to see. When they see Black women on TV, they're going to see them with their natural hair, with locks and braids and natural curls and, you know, kinks and tight curls and loose curls and all of the above. I'm excited for that. I also know that there's still so much that needs to be done as far as us embracing our own beauty and our own power and really beginning to create for ourselves. It's time out for us to stop looking for handouts and for understanding and for
yes.
yeah, you know what I mean? We're doing this thing where we want justice and we want to be accepted, and at the end of the day, we're looking for love in the wrong places. What we need to do is embrace each other and start creating and building our own shit and stop worrying about what anybody that's not one of us is going to contribute or not. We are the ones that are meant to contribute to ourselves and to build each other up. It's time for us to stop looking outside of ourselves to tap in to what's already here with us. And so I'm looking forward to that part of being a Black woman, being able to now have some information and some love and encouragement to pour into my community. Like, that's what I want to do with this platform. I know we talked earlier about, you know, being responsible for the platform that you have, and you saying, you know, to whom much is given, much is required. And I do agree with that. The unfortunate thing about that is that we don't get to police other people who do have a platform. They're going to do whatever they want to do. But what we need to be responsible for is ourselves and making sure that our mental health is good, making sure that we're mentally stable and spiritually stable, no matter what anybody else around us is doing. So I know what I am excited about is me having this platform. You better be damn sure that I'm pouring into my people with it. And that every song and every message that I have to convey will be one of power, empowerment of Black people, Black men and Black women in general. I have most of my songs right now are about really learning how to embrace love instead of fear, because fear is the opposite of love, not hate. Hate is just a derivative of fear. And so we are either operating in love or we're operating in fear. And most of the time it's in survival mode, which is in fear, which is operation in fear. So I'm just excited about being able to pour into my Black community and more so Black women, because I am a Black woman. But these songs that I'm releasing, this content is really about love, loving ourselves, our own spiritual journeys, putting yourself first. I don't care what anybody says. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot give of yourself if you have not given to yourself first. And so we have to get out of this mindset. You know, people overuse the word selfish. Well, so what is the alternative then? Do what you want me to do? Because usually when somebody is telling you that you're being selfish, it's because you are not doing what they want you to do. And so who's being selfish in this moment then?
In that case, everybody's selfish, because y'all definitely don't do what I want you to do, because I want you to
I love how you took this back.
Because I want you to be if you're listening to this podcast, I want you to be leaving reviews and comments and sending in emails and talking shit, you know, stuff like that. This is a two-way street. We're in this together. And apparently you can find Tamika on social media at Iyanla Van Zant, because
stop. I can't with you. The snapping.
Yeah,
I was like,
Iyanla Van Zant, she moving out the way, and she gonna go and stop recording the show so Tamika can go and kick people's lives.
I'm over it.
But no,
I'm over it. But yeah, that's basically it. I just want everybody to learn that you cannot properly love and contribute to anyone or anything or this planet or God or the earth if you don't pour into yourself first. That's so important. But we've been taught and programmed to believe that we're supposed to give to everybody else. Otherwise, we're assholes or we're jerks. And that's just not true. That's what's wrong with the world now. We're trying to give shit that we don't have. We are pouring from a space of depletion. If I have a pitcher, you ask me for some lemonade, I have to fill the pitcher up with lemonade first. If I try to pour you some lemonade and there's nothing in the pitcher, you're going to look at me like, bitch, there's nothing in here. This is the way that we are taught that we're supposed to just pour into people constantly with nothing to give. And that's the reason why the world feels parched and everybody feels parched and nothing is working appropriately because the order is wrong. So I am encouraging and teaching to make sure that you pour into you, because that's the only way that you will be able to properly, freely, and effortlessly contribute to the world and pour into others. That's my message ultimately. And don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Oh, that vibrato. You took me out. You took me out.
Tamika, where can the people find you on the social medias? Tell them where they can look you up, keep up with you, and all that.
Okay, all right. So I have 2 Instagram pages. Maybe I shouldn't have said that because one of them is not meant for the public, but it is.
Just tell them the one. Don't tell them the 2.
I'm just gonna give y'all both of them because at this point it's all conjoined. Is that a word? It is today.
It is. I think it is.
Okay. So my personal page that I post the most on is Lighthouse Letters 1007. And my music page, which I am building up, I'm getting my branding and stuff together. It's all about to be popping. My music page is Tamika, TAMIKA_TEE_JAY. So it's at Tamika TJ with the underscores. That's how y'all can find me for now.
And as you all know, I'll put that shit in the show notes because Tamika, ain't nobody finna sit here and type that. That's
it's
wrong.
A lot, I know.
I'm gonna
it's
put a
lot.
link. I'm gonna put a link. You might want to shorten that to just underscore EJ or some shit. Or TJ
I'm still giving it out to you, right?
It'll come together. It'll come together.
It's coming.
And when you update it, let me know because I'll update the notes again. But
okay.
As you all know, you can find the podcast here at Ubiquitous Blacks. If you don't know how to spell it, I always tell y'all, if you go on Google and you try to spell it out, Google will be like, did you? And you don't have to worry about it. It'll fix it for you and you will find us. And of course, you can always send us emails and information. You can ask us questions. A lot of really dope shit that we're working on that's coming up for the new year and rolling into the future that I want you all to be a part of. Tamika, I want to thank you for taking out the time, the ample time.
Thank you for having me. This was way greater than I expected. I really enjoyed it.
It feels good, right? It feels
good.
Like I said, we just get on here, we just talk our shit. We have our moment, and it is what it is, right?
Right.
Let the chips fall where they may. And then we both. And now, look, I want to say this too for people who can't see. If you're just listening to this, I figured out how to go onto the little video chat here, smooth out my face. Right?
Ooh, why you didn't tell me to just
no. I say that to say this. Tamika just got on here and don't even need no filter or nothing. So I might need to go vegan because
what? Oh, come on! You had me some compliments.
You know what I'm saying? Well,
thanks,
I am excited for all that you're going to be working on and all that you're going to be doing, which we know is going to be a lot. We know it's going to be a lot. Hopefully we go on tour again. Hopefully we end up just hanging out again and, you let me do shit again.
Oh, listen, because I'm going to get you right. I'm just going to keep you right.
Now, whether you are Black in Accra, Ghana,
whether you're Black in Los Angeles, California, remember we are Black everywhere.
I'm out, people.